How do you actually get players into your Roblox game? And can you do this for free? Not many people actually tell you the truth on how this works, or they simply don't know what they're talking about, but I've actually contributed to and owned multiple successful Roblox games in my time, so I'll be sharing this sauce with you guys today in this video. And I'll give you a little cheat code on how you can up your chances to get a viral Roblox game. I will say though, most of the games I have experience working with are more on the simulator type of genre, more of the cash grabby side, but generally speaking, I think I'm qualified to speak about this. And I've just been verified on Roblox, finally. Now, in my opinion, there are 3 main ways to go about blowing up any Roblox game, depending on the game and the scenario. And rather than me just telling you this stuff works, I'm literally going to show you some actual examples of my games blowing up with these methods. But before I actually explain these methods to you, you need to actually understand why they work. So Roblox has an algorithm. The algorithm is 9 times out of 10 going to be your primary source of players. If the Roblox algorithm likes your game, you can expect your game to be shown to millions of users. I've explained this before, but if your game has green stats, you can expect it to be pushed further by the Roblox algorithm. But the truth is, your game can't be pushed by the Roblox algorithm if it's not in the algorithm to begin with. This is what I'd say mostly separates Roblox's algorithm from platforms like TikTok or YouTube. Most of the time, unfortunately, you as a developer need to give your game that initial push so the algorithm actually has some data to play with. And only then, once those initial players play your game, will the Roblox algorithm even consider pushing your game further. A lot of people will tell you there's no actual secret to the advertising process of a Roblox game, because it's true. Most of the time, it's the game itself just being a good game by Roblox's standards that's going to do the heavy lifting for you. This is why so many games on the platform just bounce ideas off of each other, and why my template games, for example, have such a high success rate. Discord.gg/templates, by the way, for template drops. Anyways, now that we understand how the algorithm works, I can share with you guys the 3 methods I normally look at to be seen by the algorithm to begin with. Again, that's what these 3 methods have in common. They simply allow your game to be recognized by the algorithm in the first place. Number 1, Roblox sponsored ads. I'm going to start off with this one because it's probably the most common way to blow up a Roblox game, only because it's the only method that Roblox themselves provide for you to use, and it doesn't require some sort of external offsite push. Alright, so this is going to be the game that I will be using as an example of how to grow a game using Roblox's ad system. There are people that put off the Roblox ad system completely, which kind of blows my mind because I feel like they've only made it better over the years. And this game currently has 3,000 active players. I did contribute to this game, 3,000 active players using the ads. This game obviously uses my template. So you can see inside the game, it's pretty much just a don't wait game with the theme as Jandel. So any of you guys making simulator or tycoon types of games similar to like Grow a Garden or those type of games in general, this is probably the method that you're going to want to use to actually advertise your game. Okay, so this is the acquisition section of this game, and this is very important because this shows you when ads were actually used. So you can see they were actually used all the way back around the 18th and a bit before. So if we go back a bit, you could see ads were used for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days and then completely shut off and have not been on ads since. So this game is not currently on ads, but it grew from the ads. Now the main source of players is the home recommendations, which makes sense. This is Roblox's algorithm. This game being new means that it used the most up-to-date strategy in order to grow. All right, so these are the settings that I do for ads. For the goal and name, I do maximize plays. No point of doing all this stuff when you're growing a game for the first time. I go for a lifetime, and I do no more than 400 and no more than 150. The sweet spot I go for is around 250, and I normally do for like 5 days. Although it makes sense to go for 7 days. There's some people that do that as well, but no point of going for like 14 days or anything, just because the only reason I don't believe there's any point is just because your game should hit algorithm within 7 days, and then it shouldn't need ads anymore. If your game still needs ads after like 14 days and it still hasn't hit the algorithm, it might be cooked. I don't know, it might be cooked. Okay, I've never had that happen. It normally takes like 7 days, so that's why I normally don't do any more than 7 days. If I'm doing 250, I might do like 5. As for the start date doesn't really matter most of the time, and start time also doesn't really matter. A lot of people like say like what's the best time to like run ads. I genuinely don't think there is a good time. Like, you just run them. I end up running them a lot at night, but I don't think this matters that much. Also with creatives, I can't really advise you too well on this just because every game is different, but try to make your thumbnails very clear, very easy to understand, very clickable, and you should be able to understand what the game is by just literally looking at the thumbnail. Players will not spend much time looking at your thumbnail, so make sure for the split second that they do catch it, that it is clickable. And for the audience, I actually don't mess with this whatsoever. I don't change the location or the device, but some people have suggested to change the location. Again, I'm not going to recommend doing this because I've never done it myself, but there are certain regions that are known for not being big spenders. The biggest spenders on Roblox are going to be your USAs, your Canadas, your United Kingdoms, those kind of regions. So maybe if you want a player base that comes from these places, you can try this. But again, I've never done this myself, so I don't exactly know how much of an effect that will have on your player base. And as for the device, I leave this as all devices just because I feel like when I set this specifically to like computer, mobile, tablet, and leave out console, for example, it like significantly lowers the amount of people that see my ads, like just in general. I don't know why this happens, but yeah, I leave this at all devices, and I think you should as well, as long as your game isn't specifically for one type of device. The upside is ads are actually pretty easy to work with. The downside is it's obviously not free. Roblox ads are funny to me because there are people that will try to convince you that there's some magic trick to get the best results with these. Don't trust anyone that tells you that there's some hidden configuration that if you don't give them 50% of your game, you won't be able to set yourself. These are not Facebook ads. Do not treat them like that. I've actually gotten the best results using the default settings of Roblox ads. Well, I changed a couple of things, but in general, there's not much to it. Number 2, organic. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen this method talked about much whatsoever. It might actually be because 9 times out of 10, a game growing organically is not done intentionally. What does organic mean? This basically means publishing your game and just leaving it. You might be thinking then, what is the traffic source of your players? Well, most of the time, if your Roblox game grows without you promoting it or spending any money, it's going to be because of Roblox's search system. If your game grew without you spending any money on ads, it's likely because it ranks high on the search results and is using some sort of keyword, whether that be in the title or description, that is ranking it so high in search. I have had a couple of games blow up strictly from the Roblox search now, but unfortunately I don't have any hidden playbook on how to like specifically make this happen. All I do know is that if your game is ranking really high in search right after releasing it against games with a lot more CCU than yours, this is a very good indicator that your game will take off. So I actually see this a lot with my template games. So for example, people might be searching up Steal a Brain Rot, and then you see all of these other Steal type games. And a more recent example is the Don't Wait games. A ton of these games blew up off of just simply ranking high in search, including my game here, Don't Wake Sammy, which is currently sitting on 300 CCU. However, it has touched 1,000 CCU. And what if I told you this game has never seen a Roblox ad? I spent no Robux on this game, no ad credit, none of that. Okay, and if you check the acquisition, right, it's just my template. Like, it's literally just my template, and it has a clickable name, like a good name. Look, 0 sponsored ads. None. You can see obviously the home recommendations, what's carrying it now, but what actually got it into the home recommendation was just the search. If we actually set this back to when this game started blowing up, and we remove home recommendation and remove connections and remove charts and remove other, the Roblox search was working its magic early on, and it didn't take much. It only took a few thousand impressions for this game to hit the algorithm. Now again, the game itself is good for Roblox's algorithm. The Roblox algorithm really likes the game loop, but this is all it took, is a few searches, a few plays from the search, and boom, it's in the algorithm. It's kind of a weird phenomenon, and I wish more people would talk about how the Roblox search can carry games early on. But yeah, it's definitely possible. This is not the only game that I have that has blown up like this. And as long as these brain rot games or rethemable games are continuing to be popular on Roblox, people are just going to keep on abusing methods like this. You look at games like Find the Brain Rot. This is a new game. There's going to be people that will make Find the and then replace it with something else and do the exact same thing. Okay, so this is me editing. They already have. This is the first one to blow up, but there's going to be more that follow this in the next coming days. 12,000 CCU. Bro, what did I tell you, bro? Which is why if you're not in my template server, you need to be. It's discord.gg/templates. I drop these templates all the time, which you guys can use and create your own games very easily. And you guys can see a little leak. Find the brain rot template is coming out in the next few days. So if you guys want this, get your hands on it before it's gone. You can see there's so many buyers, bro. So many big successful devs in here as well. So I mean, this is honestly the place to be, just to see what's going on at least. And we've even had a game reach 35,000 CCU with the template. This is bigger. This is literally bigger right now than the actual original game. Again, guys, I wouldn't tell you guys these things unless I genuinely thought they worked. And I mean, the proof is here, bro. You can scroll through all these games. You can search up every single one of these games. They are huge. Number 3, externally. So this is going to be the method of growing a Roblox game that I actually have the least experience with. I have a ton of successful developer friends that have used an external method to get into the Roblox algorithm, whether that be through YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, anything like that. They usually hype their game up a ton before release and end up with a bunch of players ready for the game as soon as it comes out. Again, I have never owned a successful game that has grown in this way, but going into 2026, this is definitely something I want to explore more of for a couple of reasons. Obviously, this can be free, especially if you're doing it by yourself, but the main reason this can be appealing is because of the quality of players that it usually comes with. Having a connected and loyal community around your game is so important for the game's longevity, and a lot of people don't realize this. The reason I say this is because no matter how the algorithm feels about your game on a given day, you will have those group of ride or die players that are ready to play your game no matter what. This is how games like Forsaken, Stay Alive, or The Forge, which is a new game. Now, I know these games have really good stats anyway and are definitely good games, but I can easily say that these games are going to have a lot more longevity, and it's not only because of what the games actually are, but it's also about who is playing these games and how they were pushed in the algorithm. We can see this external method done a lot with anime games or PvP games, like for example Deep Woken, and it's a really good way to get players that really love your game early on rather than waiting for the algorithm to read your game and find the best audience. Most of the time, I see developers who use this method gather content creators or create content for the game themselves, then funnel them into something like a Discord server or some sort of community to get them all in one place. Anyways, guys, I genuinely don't think I have seen any videos similar to this on YouTube that explains all of this as clearly as I've done. So I hope you guys found this informative. Again, new templates are dropping soon, so if you haven't joined the Discord server, make sure to do that. Anyways, see you guys.